about, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with, I need to familiarize.
We have to use Git for the. It's just the entire React. Everything in that source folder, basically we put that in Git.
Okay.
And then when you go to work on it, you grab off of Git, the source folder. And you put it on your computer, and when you're done, they put it back on.
So we're not gonna do like pushing. through
Oh.
everything. It's okay.
Which means for a few minutes.
That's.
I guess when I think of thinking to it, I'm literally thinking about our class I had last. Yeah, program development class. Because literally, we're able to do that stuff directly from VS Code. It's not something we would to worry about setting up this time, but it was literally, you could do it.
Yeah, it was the same thing as pushing committee to work out. Use VS Code for this.
I like VS Code, that's not worth it. But that's just what I pictured, because that was my experience with it. And even though it's so collaborative, I wasn't actually pushing anything through. It's a lot of good discussion. And so
What?
application program development.
I do that. That's
It's in Python. Those pages. Legally distinct. So we did a legally distinct. Yeah, we ended up using like the same images.
Actually, it's funny.
I love the computers now.
Yeah.
Just so it's in a country that doesn't have copyright laws, they exist. It's like, just move to China. I mean, they don't give a, yeah, they don't give a shit there. Like,
Somebody was using, one of our team members was using an AI deal that came up with songs.
that was me.
And I can't remember what it's called, I've got a favorite on the computer, but he gave a prompt to tell her music to talk about, they were telling us something. One of the prompts I gave it was Steve was doing, Steve is in a board meeting. And he was just very struck with somebody to see that. And it came up with Elizabeth, I did, my wife, I did not tell her what the prompt was. I was like, give me a music genre. She said ska. And I was just like, yes. So it was a ska version of the song. Let's use like that. Because I'm 6 years old.
Yeah.
But it was very funny.
Okay. Wow. Wow. We have a small group for today. Okay. Yeah.
They might have seen the announcements and went, oh, okay, and then that was the end of it.
No, I think I put announcements mainly for the fall break. But it's 2 days, right? All you know is only 2 days.
Yeah, but you said no class for the week on there.
I think week. I think I put coming week, right? And then I deleted it.
You did delete it, but I'm sure a bunch of people looked at it. I was like, oh,
A
cool. And then they
COVID.
never looked.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I just assume you all know only 2 days.
I was doing a screenshot
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
it said there is no class coming week for fall break.
So
I think they.
okay.
Yeah,
I
so
hope
a bunch of
confused.
people probably saw that and were like, cool, and then they didn't pull it up ever
They took
again.
it and ran.
Yeah.
Okay, but feel free. Actually, I say Thursday is the lecture day, so I'm okay.
I was like, hey, I just want to make sure that, because my first thought was fall break, and then we have a week, and then I found out it was Monday, Tuesday. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Uh-huh.
So I emailed him, I was like, hey, I just want to make sure you do that.
Yeah, I
It's
said,
just Monday, Tuesday.
and also I just worry you don't know. Actually, I upload the earlier for the lecture material, so I try to put a VA. So say yeah, we should have a class, but it's okay. Yeah.
I misunderstood. Miranda sent me a screenshot, I think, of an email that you'd sent her saying that we would have class Thursday. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty definitive. So
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
it's like, why?
So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it confused me in the beginning. I don't know. So
I thought, oh, fall break, like spring break. No.
no, it's not. Okay.
I like
Yeah.
spring break.
Okay. It's weird. So it's okay. So okay. Maybe Thanksgiving I will do. We did the professor. I did like before when I several years ago because taking my professor even give the holiday for the Halloween.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That's my birthday.
He just said next week is the Halloween, so no class. Okay.
Awesome. What's the next person would do it? Because like I have my.
But like to me, I'm flexible, but I don't know. Like to me, I can change the it to like online because it's a lecture day. I don't know if you mind. Okay, actually, I can record it, so you don't have to come. If you want to enjoy party, makeup, costume, yes, I can check it. Okay, okay, and okay, I see. Thank you. Okay. Okay, yeah, so you can, if you remember the system design, so, still some boring stuff. But one thing I want to address about the class diagram, I know some maybe still confused, sometimes I give you the, like, even I tell you what the class like after, but let me open the first.
Just forget which diagram.
Mhm.
What it is, so I see what the actual structure of it is, and then I make.
Okay, yeah,
Don't have the structure in front of me now. Okay, this is the kind of.
because I try to give you the require, I would like to talk assignment. Let's say I at least I give you right here I have 7, right? So but somehow I receive only have 4 tables for like 4 classes, and then okay. So first thing, at least for assignment, that's why I give you more. But if for the final, I'm not the harsh as I give you, but I will break down as like 2. Yeah. So like you can just use all the data. You don't have to like create your own, because I know exam you don't have enough time. And also because I'm going to do everything online, you're not really easy to create. So and maybe just one question that maybe I let you to draw and then upload pictures and something like this. Yeah. And at least for assignment, I wish also for when you draw it for relationship, I know maybe not everyone able to capture the idea like how to draw the class diagram or yeah. So maybe I'll give you some time after the class. You can upload to the discuss. I open the discuss. So I will let you to practice and draw if you want. Oh, you're welcome, but later as a bonus. Okay. Okay. And
All right, well, everything's there, although my handwriting is gone.
okay, yeah, also I want to help you like in more like, but like in this class, I know who are you going to taking? Yeah, I'm like talking. But next semester for spring will be, should we keep going like 440? I think it's called 4. Yeah, so I think it should be like it's a, well, why not we are talking, but I don't know if I keep like teaching the spring. I don't know, like something is a project, but it will be like continuous class. Like for then you're learning the idea, how to building a system, like getting requirements, how to design, and then next one will be you need to work on it. Yeah, actually implement it. And actually what I teach is more than what you, I guess what you need. I just thinking, okay, some of the information like maybe like more like practical in the industry. Like that's how we doing right now in the industry. Okay, especially for a big company. So I talk about like CDN, like leadership. Maybe in the lecture, it's like something extra. So you can know, but you don't have to really implement. Okay. It's challenging, but yeah. Last time we stopped by the stop by right here. We talk about the security, like digital signature certificate. And if you have ideas, some of you work on the web polling, SSL, ShareBot, and you know what's this, right? Suppose. I wish, okay. Well, if you know you didn't using it, then just kind of just a keyword and then remember the definition and that's it. Okay. So one of the IP set we are using for the lower level is one of the encryption for connecting VPN. So PPPoE. Oh no, PPPoP, I think is a people protocol. Yeah. And also one is called IP set. So if you using a VPN, then you see different type of encryption and SHA. So all this. And today we'll keep going, talk something boring, define the system architecture. Okay. So right here, we'll talk about what's the modern information system architecture, and then interoperability architecture diagrams, and then how can we describe the environments and then design the application components. Okay, right here. So we will know like kind of like when we have a new system development, so we need to choosing the appropriate technology and then explain, provide summary of technology, and then the architectural concept. Okay, and then how can we describe those details of activity? Okay, environment, also application components. So right here. So far when we need to design the system components, we need to identify, the problem, get the approval, planning, monitor the project, discover, understand details. And then right here, we will move on the step, is the design system components, okay? So when we need to design the components, we need to describe what's the environment, application, components, user interface, database, software like class, methods, all these things, okay? So the anatomy of the modern system, we have the server, like manage shared resources, enable user other computers access to these resources, and also some maybe we have like personal computing devices of client, desktop, laptop, tablet. So it depends on. For our project, sometimes like some company, they only request us, we only want to create a mobile application. True, it's a new trend. So everything just using an app. They are not required to have a website. They don't care. They don't need it. Then based on this, how can we design maybe which type, or like for the development, I want to launch my application on iOS only. It did long time ago. That's my first company like entrepreneurship. So we're thinking, okay, we have like target on high end. So just let it go. So we ignore the market of Android. So we only focus on iOS. So at that time, we're working on the iOS mobile application. So when we choose like working on iOS, then what's the language? At that time, it will be Objective-C. There's a language, and later there comes up like Swift. Or if you want to work also have a native, like let's say Android, then that time we are using a Java. Right now, the language we call using Kotlin. I'm not so sure like all this language. And then, or if you want to say, I want to implement in the same time and then launch it as a web page, then we can use React Native. Okay, so this one I call the React Native. Okay, so it's also the same similar components to building the web page, and then once you build it and then export, you can create the iOS and then the Android version APK file. Okay, and then you can upload it to the Apple. I'm not so sure if let me see. Let me check let me check my app store. Yeah, together. Okay. I'm checking my app. Is it still on the? It's pretty small. Okay, it's pretty small. I'm not showing. So this is my app on the App Store. But that one's like working for the Hong Kong, my own country. Okay, so, but it's really depends on the like needs. Like, so if you are only like target on the certain type of customer, then you need to choose. Okay. And for the so far for like for the whole application, you see here's the simplified architecture. So we have the from the internet, the server side, we have the like shipper, Amazon, like payment processor, and then we have the client. Maybe we'll have a desktop view tab. We have a cell phone, or for some warehouse, right? For the factory. So also maybe they have their own terminal cell. That's one of our work, like one of the, the Walmart backend. So they have so internally they will have a terminal to scan their barcode. So I'm not sure if you know how it works. So they have a device like the employees might be working in the back. So they will I think that one's working for the online order. So let's say you place an order, so they have a list. So that one's the only for the handheld terminal. So they have a scanner. So you need to integrate with the camera or use the scanner like at that with a scanner like IR, scan a barcode, scan it, and then grab it, the information. And even the small like modification is using the camera. So the first version is that you have to click on the like focus on the barcode of the product, click on it and wait for it, and then later increase the frequency, like the scanning speed. Just like when you go there, the camera detect the barcode, yes, but sometimes it's a mistake because it will scan something else, something like barcode. So if you look at the products, like the package of the product, it have multiple barcode, right? So when you go too fast, then you will scan the wrong one. So you the customer, okay, based on the feedback, so it's too fast. So then you will scan the wrong barcode. Can you slow down? Okay, so software is always modified and based on devices. Maybe for the client using the mobile app, they are not required to have this function. But for the like in the back, like for the staff employees working in the back for their purpose, they mainly using checking the stock, picking the list, printing the item. They need to connect to the that one is the formal stack, formal printer, you know. If you go to a store, so they will print the labels. Okay, that's how it works. So maybe when you have a device, have a printer, how can you connect to the maybe when I give the printer and then the device, you need to connect to the this warm up, because in different location you need to connect to their Wi-Fi, right? So you know it's internally. You need to sign in with the password like this, so you can make sure they have their own IP address. So everything. So in different situation environment, we have different needs. Okay, so depends on the purpose. We need to present different type. So we have something called the server farm. So very large database. That one's a mini mini one. So you see all the rank will be like that. Okay, so you will see the whole group will be all the server. And that's why we say the data center, of course, for internal use like this. And for them, we need to think about the like cooling or location, physical location. And then about the network. So once we set up, we have all the hardware, then we need to think about, okay, so what the software we're using, transmission media. So are we still using copper or like the optical fiber? So like it affects. So if we're using optical fiber, we can go up to 1 gigabit per s, or why not? I think it can go up higher than like maybe 2 gigabit per s or 3 gigabit per s. Have you using or which type of connection are you using? For you?
About our internet at home.
Yeah.
Steady state.
Okay.
Or whatever it's called.
Copper, just regular copper. Okay. So yeah, because you know. Okay, yeah, no option. So here's the things. Yeah. So it's also me. Also.
Long way without any real institutions, right?
So for the sometimes depends on the infrastructure. Yeah, something like our topic, but you know, for the developing country like Africa, I think sometimes they even better for the like network infrastructure. They are way better than developed country. The reason why
There's no existing infrastructure.
nothing, so they will put the latest one. So actually, why now when they like working on the infrastructure, they're using optical fiber cover everywhere to their buildings. So yeah, but in US, the cost, I know the cost is really huge. Yeah, if you only, I know the problem that maybe within one anchor, there's only one house over there, so it's not a smart way. Like I get the cables, yeah, cover to it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I understand here, but for the, of course, depends on location here. Like maybe in the States, think about it, the location, maybe internet backbone is like we need to figure out some location, some city can support like maybe the infrastructure have like optical fiber, so faster access, or sometimes they owned by government, telecom company. You know, sometimes they share their cable. Okay, so they share the network. Yeah, so even you are saying like physical optical fiber, but you can choose your own company. It's okay. So, but just like something of a topic is too expensive right here for the internet. So, maybe not really competitive. And we need to think about the local area network, the LAN, and then the web, the World Wide Web, double dot. So across the internet. And even inside your LAN, we do have a subnet, right? So we have subnet, then how can we design it? So all this like actual infrastructure. And then about the network, so we have the URL, the uniform resources locator. So this one we're using is the path right here and the hyperlink. So for those, if you learn web programming, I wish you pick up the idea. But if no, so you know what's the HTTP right now and which port we are listening, port 80, and HTTPS. We have the certificate, SSL, and then we are listening to the port. Don't know which port. HTTPS. If you look at the Nginx configuration, I give you an example. Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah, I can remember the top of my head. So yes, yeah. So for 443 is for the network. And then for the rest of the path right here, so you will see like gp/car. So this one depends how we define our website, right? So the path, and maybe I have put the /API. So the resource name right here. So now you see the tag. You see the website right here. So you say /home, so the path. And then if I go to click on something like groups, so you can see the group / right here. And then question mark if you are taking the, maybe, I think it's today. Let's see, my web programming or, maybe I'm not yet teaching. I prepare the material, so I'm like confused. I'm not yet talk about this one. So the question mark right here. Okay, so this is another class. My cloud computing. Okay, in my cloud computing class, I talk about more about this like the URL. Okay, so this one will be passing the called the query parameter. So we have different type of parameter. So this one OU equals to like 16.4.973. So all these will be the components of the network. So we need to think about it. How can we design it? So even just the one I gave you the example using the Nginx, happy and /API. So are we using the DNS to handle it, or are we using a /API to handle it using the same domain? So all this like we need to consider in the system design. Yeah, because it will change the infrastructure. Okay. And also the software level, so application software, so the programs perform work for user, so either like custom apps, web-based app, or when the app, when you see the mobile app like getting popular and common, at that time, most of the company, they say they're not yet able to launch our app. Like we did have a custom app. What did they do? Don't know what did they do. They already have a website, but they not yet have, they don't have enough time to create an app. So they, no, really. So they use the developer tool like to create a web view. You push the web view and you put the link. So it you can download the company web the app, but that app is loading the website. So it's how it works. So they try to like occupy, let the user know, okay, maybe we are not able to like release the app right now in this moment, but we want to like, let the user know, oh, we have an app, we have our own app, but they don't have it. So they just like put their website on their app. Okay, so we can do it in this way too. Okay, so, and we call the web-based application. So that's why we say we call the React Native. That's what we're using to build it. So you can see the language, like the programming language, we using the JavaScript or like Node.js, like ES6 standard. And also we something called an app that program using laptop, smartphone. Sometimes we need to think about maybe the device like is the desktop, tablet, or cell phone. They have a different features. And then system software like behind the scenes or work groups to hold everything together. So here's the like this. So for the software, let's say the server side, we need to think about our operation system, web server, database, all this. That's we are doing. In this class, we talk about more about the design. Like maybe in example, we talk about the database design. So that one will affect a lot, like how we store the data for system. But also you need to know, like with the internet, how the API server work, how the web server works, also the end user. But sometimes we really hard to design the user, but we need to think about which type of software we are working on. Like let's say, is it only working for Windows, or like it's a web-based, or is that only working for Mac? Because the web is its own system. So if you need to let it work, or let's say if you are working on a Java application, then you can launch for both, right? So that's why you know why Java is still really popular. So Java is the one of, yeah, so it's one of the language using right now. So you can execute on the Windows or Mac, okay, or Linux system is still okay. And for the software, like we need to maybe using a web browser and through the URL, and then reside the web server, and then we using the IP protocol, DNS, all this. And then when we embed with the app, so we need to know, we need to call in others like toolbar, pub-in, widgets, anything else. Okay. And also we need to know the what kind of protocol we are using, put it a lot. For lower level, maybe we don't have to touch it. Like when we learn in other class, you will learn different protocol, and HTTP also is one of it, but we don't have to define it, but we need to use it. Okay, so we need to know how to use it or what kind. And also the network protocol, or are we using VPN, especially for the system. When we look at the whole system, so are we going to let them, like, do we need to create a private network? So we only limit to the certain user, or it's open to public, we don't have to use it. So you see the pictures like getting bigger right here. So with the different type of protocol, and for the user, like what kind of port are we create some backdoor, and then program to database and program to program. That's how it works. And we'll cover the web protocol. So we have the HTML, XML. So XML, sometimes is an extensible markup language. So it would define, if you look at the XML, I'm not sure if there's some, maybe I don't have it. So have you ever seen how the XML looks like? So also it declares that it's very similar to the HTML, but it's like also covered the tag. So like with the information, it saves all the information. So it's pretty similar. Let me see if it can show you what's the XML. Okay, so it's pretty similar like this. So we can like define the data like student list, student like information. So all the contents we store like this. Is it too small? XM. So this one is the XML file. Okay. So with the text, it saves all the information. So if you see not only the website like extend, also you know why not the document, you know the DOCX, PPTX. Do you know what's like the Microsoft?
Yeah, DPTX.
Yeah. So do you know what is okay? So when I know. So what's the X representing? Is XML.
Also, X for XML.
Yeah, so it stands for like, that's why when you see the some file, it still like stay with like let's say PowerPoint, PPT, but you see some PPTX. So it's the new, when you save it, it comes with the XML. And if you see the document .doc, that means the old version. If you save a new one, so you see is the let's say a save a file. So you see DOCX here. So it represents it. It's a common standard using the XML. So here's the difference. Of course, mhm.
Saying that whatever we're doing in Word or PowerPoint or whatever is on the back end being executed in XML.
Also where's the XML? Yeah, so we save the data as a XML. So
Gotcha.
okay. And yeah, and yeah, because sometimes like nobody tell you that when we change, like there are some meanings like for this one. And also we say like HTTP and then HTTPS. Right now you know what's the S representing to, right? So it's representing we are using SSL, we're using a certificate to secure it. Okay.
Yes, they would consider what like lock.
Yeah, it's a lock. Okay, so how can we get that lock? So right here, sometimes they secure. And if you remember, because with the limit of AWS, we cannot do that. I show you one of example is using the Nginx less encrypt. So this one is called a less encrypt the support. I covered in the beginning, but the AWS, the DNS cannot support by it, so we cannot install it. But if you have your own domain, then you can do it. So this one will generate a certificate showing you like safe kind of. But you know, once you can do it in this way, that means everybody can do it. For the regular, let's say the school, is it
Soon that would give your web page, you have to link legitimacy as well.
yeah, so right here. So if let's say for this one, okay, I'm not using because the search certificate is not same. So it shows the certificate, right? So for mhm.
The idea is whenever you visit an HTTPS website, you have to send the certificate to the certificate provider, and then they have to give you a response saying that a validated certificate. And ensure that like you're that website.
No. How it works is more like is not doing this way, but like let's say the A&M system like this one, we need to get the certificate. So you need to purchase it from the party. So you need to submit all the, let's say what's the organization name, address, like all those like official information, like all the information. So proof, okay, so they can validate, okay, so I know this organization. So they will give you the digital the shirt. Okay, digital shirt. Okay, so this shirt you will embed with your, let's say Nginx is like serving it. So let me see if I have an Nginx. Okay.
To be so cool.
Okay. If you look pretty small. So if you want to like serve it as a SSL, first you need to listen to maybe I copy this part. Okay, let me enlarge it. Okay, so you see if we for our server side, so we need to listen to the port like 443. So I asking to know the port HTTPS. So we need to define. Okay, so this one will have to handle the SSL, the cert. So we need to import the cert like where they put. So let's say I'm using the less encrypt, this free. So we can register like kind of safe, but not really safe because when you're doing it this way, they don't know who you are. Okay, so here's a slide check giving. Okay, but because we need to adapt to that, like using HTTPS. So I won't tell, okay, my website is safe, please generate. Okay. And we have like the cert and the key. So like this, then we can encrypt. So if you are the like those company and then you purchase it, for those that you have to pay for it, validate your like company or organization. Then you once you get a certificate, then you can embed it with the Nginx. Let's say you are using Apache. If you're using Nginx. But I think most of the company, if you try to access, maybe the back will be Nginx test. I don't know if you can return something or do they handle this one? Let me see. Who? Okay, interesting. So do you know what did I do? So I put the text, then it goes to the officer. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right now it turns out it's not found. Okay. So all this, like, you need to handle all these pages too. If it's not exist something, are you going to like put a page to handle this, or like return sometimes, like what's the return value so we can inspect? Sometimes we will know like by checking it, or like what's the server, but most of the time right now the server are running on the Nginx. Now they like most of we switch to Nginx. We barely running on the Apache. Okay, that's our company switch to it. And then the protocol, so you know of it, and then architectures. So what the technology architectures, computer network, computer hardware, or this application. So the software program and the configuration concepts, and then what's the SaaS? So the software as a service. And we have 3. So it's the infrastructure and the SaaS with no software installed on the user devices, and then also like access like remotely. So user data also installed on a common server. So because not here, but if you know some of the lab in the school, like most of school, like when you log into your account, so you need to wait for some time. Have you maybe some like public library, maybe we are loading your profile. So if you're using your own laptop, then you can also think, okay, of course, if you're using own laptop, all the profile, all the configuration are stored on your own computer. But if you're using some public, they want to make it clean, or they want to be safe, they want to let you install the software, like make something change. So they only save your copy to the server. So every time when you log in from the some public computer, once you log in, they will access to the store the image of your server or sometime application data. So they will load to that one. Okay, so you just access it remotely, and after you're done, and then they will say back store. Okay, once you log out, you just create the image. Okay, but for this one, it takes more time. So depends on which way. And then web surface, so they execute with like web standard, maybe like URL input, send it, execute remotely, data return from within the web page, all these things. And also we're thinking about the distributed architecture, like client server architecture. So this one will be like, let's say the software design with powerful application on the server and then powerful on the client. So how it works. But nowadays, kind of the trend is we try to keep the like the end user, the client is just for display, like sending the IO, like sending the like the mouse click, and that's what they're trying to do. Let's say I have a really supercomputer hosting, so everybody just accessing to this one, and then you just like have an image, or like you use your computer as a monitor, like just a monitor and connect to the server side. It kind of like that kind of idea. And with the distributed architecture, we have like 3 layers architecture. When we have a view layer, so mainly from here send a request, and then we have a domain layer right here. So we send a request and handle it, and then maybe we need to get the data, some function to fetch it. We have the data layer. So this one for distributed architecture, just remember we have put the 3 layers. The view, that's what we see, and then the domain, we send the request like informations, and then later what you apply just like very similar to our web programming working, the website, what we see, and then we send the API server. So the domain will connect to a data MongoDB. So kind of similar idea. But this one we will apply more like on the hardware, so view layers right here, and then send to domain web, application server, data layer, database. But sometimes we just combine them together. That's what we are doing right now. Okay. And then we have the interoperability. So right here, that means the ability, the application to interact with other software. So there are some like important characteristics like in the current development project, like understand the environment. So how can we use it based on like there's some existing components? Yeah. So we always say in reality, we always something exists over there. How can we use it? Okay. And then also build some components considered as an interoperability, and then combine all the components into a solution system. And right here, one of the location, like if we have different place right here, and we put like retail store, maybe we have the warehouse, manufacturer, or like different maybe the data center. So maybe if there are different locations, how can we assign? Okay. And so far, when we have so many, not only one computer that put everything together, so we make them all separate. Then we need to think, okay, we connect through the internet. So how can we like deploy, like connect all the hardware and then software together? So let's say we right here. So when we have a firewall, so we can treat it as two different like to LAN to local network, and then maybe we have a switch, and then also this one actually you can treat it another when we have the web server and the other internet service provider in the service provider, and then public wireless access point, so many things. And go into here, and then we have maybe we have a application server, database server, and content server, and then within this we also have some like switch, and then connect with all those like different storage array. So one of the structure connecting everything together. And also we need to design, here's the example for the diagram for design the system architecture. So you see, let's say I have a device, we have the application server, and then inside the ASP server, we have like using the Microsoft, IS 0.0, and then inside what kind of system we are using, reporting, sales, all the subsystems. And when we connect to the database, then which protocol are we using? Are we using the SQL, NoSQL, and then connect to it? So what's the database server, DBMS, like which server are we using? Are we using a Microsoft SQL, or are we using the MySQL itself? Yeah. Or like are we using Oracle? So we have different type, and then what are the tables, like different schemas? So like we have the tables like customers, products, orders. So here's the system architecture. Okay. So when we try to describe the environment, so the key question is helping describe the accurately. So what are the key features like existing or the new environment? What's the OS system? What's the software networks? What the tools, like external, what kind of interaction, what kind of data protocol we are using, and security. So everything right here we need to describe. And there's some question help us to describe that accurately. So like, let's say, so when we ask like what the devices we require, then we ask like the protocols, security, the APIs, and then the UI technology. So where they use, who are using it, and then the hardware device, and what when the client using, so what are the OS that we need to use, and also we need to think about the security and API. So all these things. That if you remember, in the PowerPoint they talk about RMO, so they want the environment. So why not this one? We have internet, so maybe we have the supply chain. They need to connect to the VPN. So if talk about VPN, different gateways, and we have the firewall to let the setting the server. We let the user to access the web, like for the storefront or like the phone, mail, order server, internal, and maybe for the manufacturing workstation. So we also connect using the VPN. So you see, VPN are all included, but don't know why we are putting VPN right here. So you know the term VPN, right? So, but why we are like putting so many VPN in this? diagram when we design.
So every device is on its own separate.
Physically, they're in different location. Yeah, they're all separate. And then we all connect to the, you will see right here, we put lots of, most of them we connect through the VPN gateway, the retail store, manufacturer, distributor, retail store, working station, but not the customer device or the credit verification server, we just annoy, and also not the web front server. But right here, why we have putting the VPN right here, where we design the structure architecture.
For more security.
More security, yes. Also, also usage, like of course, one of the purpose, like make it secure. Also, how can we use it? Why we need to create in this way? Just imagine all this like in different locations. What is similar to remote worker?
So they're all synchronized?
Not really same.
You've got connected, you have to have gateways for them to connect to it.
Mhm,
Right?
mhm. So either, okay, of course, like when we design, you mentioned about security. Yes, we do. Also, one more thing is that I want to, because they are physically, they are not in the same environment. So they are not connected to the same router. So they have their own IP address. Okay. So that's why we need to let them like have like virtually in the same environment, the assets together. Just like why we need to let the employee sometimes work from home or somehow we need to connect to the company VPN. The first like for the infrastructure, maybe all this like for internal use. So I don't want to let any like open my WAN IP or like open any port to other kind of customer. Okay, so if we are like for the infrastructure, where we design for internal usage, I don't want to open it. Then how can we allow physically or geolocation like is not under like in this same environment? Then we need to use something to pretend we are in same environment. Right? So we are using VPN. So does it make sense? Yeah. Okay, so that's how we need to do that. And as I put a common behavior we are doing for doing VPN, so I say, okay, that means we can share also like access directly. So maybe through the WAN, we need to open the port or like setting, like maybe if we are using a virtual IP, like something more like the IP range, like 10.10.10.1, if you see most of the time we are using. So we can just like directly using access to those server or like printer or any devices inside this virtual network. So one here, like when we post like more like mobile devices and app or like web application and content, like social network application, security issue, external hosting of portions. Right now we need to think about it. Then we need to think about this. Then we have maybe have payment server, app store, like social network. So all these things we need to integrate together. And when we design the application components, so we need to think about, okay, maybe which components we perform, like which functions, like how to group the function to build the components, like what are the actor, share the data environment, the events. So for the actor, what the particular actor we use, or like so are they, what kind of data are they share? That will be the same, or like the events will be the function occurring in common business event. So we need to think about it. So when we try to grouping everything, so if you still remember, we try to put the use case. So and then we have the user or like the actor. So involve like who are doing, like let's say we have the phone sales representative, then we will create the phone sales, right? If you remember, use case is a verb now. We need to put like verb and then create now instead the phone sales. Okay. Domain. So let's say domain class. Let's say we have the product item, inventory item, sales transaction, like this event. So the customer will request route the shopping by phone, like this. And then we give you a group ABC, like this. So like grouping all this, so we know, okay, so D will be mainly is shopping for the customer. So events like try to request an online order like this, and then another E. So that's what we need to do. And for the design, so if you still remember the one before is the database and the application, right? Right now we add more say the ASP.NET. So it's also another protocol like the library we create. So we have a ASP server. So this one we have a CSMS, customer service management system like this for use case. So this one also is like kind of also is a part of API help us to handle the request. So when we call the function from here, this one will connect to the our database. That means from the web page server, we don't have to really care about how can we connect to the database, but we just like send a request. Just like same if you're working on the web programming, then you know the structure. So we just send it just like /API and then get item, I get all item. If I want to add item, just add item and then send the information. Then I don't have to really care about the like in behind, what kind of language they're using, what is the structure, and then or like what's the logic in behind. So I don't have to care, right? So I just like, okay, I need to add a new user. I just say add user. If I need to update the profile, send all the data you need to update. So that's it. And let's say if we have the subsystem integrate, so right here, maybe we will have a tracer right here and then send the inventory items to the supply chain management, and then the inventory items will like have a two-way. So consolidate sales and marketing. So the item right here we send to here. And then when we make the sales and return, we go to the financial planning report, purchase and return also go to financing. And maybe the HR will send the payroll to the financing plan. So like this unified design. And maybe like who data ownership, when we talk about data ownership, so who owns the data? So like system of record. So what system is responsible to maintain the data or like have a like copy can access the data. So right here, it's more details like, let's say we have the trade show demonstrating all the trading. So we have an inventory. So it's the copy, and then consolidate sales and marketing. So this one inventory is the master. Okay. And then we have a supply chain management also is a copy. Okay. So like every night, like nightly we say, okay, we have update. And maybe like for the supply chain, we need to like keep checking. Maybe every hour we need to update the record. And then we set that like export import web service. So we update from the master to this like update. Like then we can provide a function like how often we update the content. Okay. So this part will cover all the for today's about the modern information system. Like we need to think the hardware, network, software, protocols, and are we doing a standalone network based? But nowadays mainly it's network based. We cannot do standalone unless this high sensitive or like maybe require high privacy. Then we will do it standalone. And also some like concept, maybe most of the time we do it like the SaaS, the software as a service. So we are remote. And we have the web service and also distribute architecture like client server with 3 layers. If you remember the 3 layers was doing. And then all the like components working together. And then the architecture was the location diagram, network diagram, and deployment diagram we need to know. So if right here, like deployment is like this. So we have the application, like the end user, and then connect to the this one is the API server. This one connect with which protocol to your database server. And then keep going, we like describe the environment. So like external technology architecture, and then what the key question we're asking. So who owns this one, and then who is responsible to maintain this one, the data. So we need to ask this question. And then finally, for design the application components, then we will say, okay, what's the boundaries of the application components, grouping the function together, and then what's the system record who owns it. So it would be so far, so boring lecture things of, yeah, so kind of like repeating. So when you working for your project, so you are not really required to like complete all this, like telling me what's the design. But when you choose the topic, like this, and then at least you have to generate some like basic requirements. Like as a step, like first step, if you remember, we need to like get the information from the user requirement, get approval. Of course, we'll skip the approval one. You don't have an actual user, right? Just like we kind of thinking, okay, so those requirements will be approved from the your user, customer, or stakeholder, or like maybe from your manager. Yeah, assume this. And then based on the requirements, we need to have a use case. So what you need to increase the use case and then design system. And also you need to tell what's the actual architecture. So able to like drawing this part. Like, okay, with the internet, are we including VPN? What are there some like protocols like this? Yeah. We don't have to like draw really deep inside like what's the VPN protocol, what's the encryption. Of course, like you can just tell, okay, we can have including some, if you remember VPN, we have IPsec, PPOP, all these things. Just like rough, but you don't have to tell like how for system design, you don't have to say actually how we implement it. But when you design, what kind of things we need to use. Okay, so if I'm the software engineer or like taking care of this part of job, then okay, you will declare I need to use the VPN, and I need to think, okay, maybe what's the IP range, and then what's the which encryption method I need to use. And by okay, so we need to share the like certificate. So are we using certificate? So once I have a new customer, like maybe new user, employee, then I need to generate a new certificate. So this one is like really practical. And also you need to, just like for project, okay, for study. So you need to like have a table called use case, just follow the format. Okay, just like the description. What enter domain, and then you need to choose the use case diagram. Okay, if you still remember what's use case diagram. Enter boundaries, yeah, so boundary, and then have a circle like the word none. And then also we need to talk about the ER diagram and that relationship. And after we finish all this, also about the data part, we will have a class diagram, how we really like store your data. Okay, that's what you need to do. But putting on the project, then you suppose that you have something like basic. If you using, let's say I have a Spotify, let's say I already use Spotify, you're not allowed to use it. So Spotify, maybe they have different location like data center. Okay, so we don't have a warehouse something. So maybe I have a multiple server. Okay, and then you need to think, do we require to use VPN or no? Okay, or but you need to think what's the web server, application server, or like the data server, how we like put those things, how we design the structure. Okay, maybe the flow, like how can we access, let's say the user from client, yeah, or the artist or user, regular user. Okay, then we need to draw this one. Maybe in the database, we need to tell when we talk about Uber or Spotify, that one I'm using like we're using CDN. Also for the database, we have the leader server, and also we have sometimes we call the master. So how we update copy, like are we using the array 0 to array 5, like have a duplicate different method. You can mention all this in your system design. Yeah. And then, but for yours, you don't, in this class, you don't have to really care about, okay, how can we implement, how can we use A5? Then we don't have to really need to mention in your system. And so far will be, that's it for our class for this one. And I will try to make sure a lot of group available to you. So thank you. Like we have finished pretty early. Yeah.